Welcome to Hawaii Matters, a Pacific Media Group community program. I'm your host, Kathy with a K. What happens to the food served at a potluck? Most times it's stored in the fridge until the next day. Someone will take the leftovers in a clean storage container or plastic zip bag. For the larger gatherings, a commercial luau or resort brunch, what happens then? Our guest is Mele Pepa Latu, Executive Director of Aloha Harvest and No Waste Food Distribution in Hawaii. It's about sustainability, upcycling, and also volunteerism, because it's not a one-person band and it changes through the generations. Mele, how did you come to know Aloha Harvest here on Oahu?
Hi, Kathy. Thank you for having me. Right out of college, I did a bunch of interviews, and Aloha Harvest was the first one. I'm from Kaimuki, so to see that there was an opportunity just 5 minutes away from home, when I was preparing for my interview, I instantly fell in love with this organization. And when I found out that I got the job as an office manager, I was like, wow, I felt like I could contribute so much. It means something in the long run. And so I've been with the organization 15 years. So ever since I was out of college, I've been with the organization, and I've seen it grow. I've seen the good, the bad, the struggles, the success. And I'm just really proud to be part of an amazing organization that does so much for the community.
What was your understanding of Aloha Harvest?
I didn't know about Aloha Harvest. And at that point, I think it had already been around for 10 years. And I studied travel and tourism in college, so it definitely was not in line with what I went to school for. In the long run, it did, because I am now working with a lot of restaurants and hotels and just the food industry in itself, and understanding that aspect. So I think it was really meant to be to venture into the nonprofit world.
As a 501c3 nonprofit, what are the needs of Aloha Harvest?
The first needs, of course, is money. We rely on grants and private donation. We've been grateful for all the support, and we've been around for 26 years and been able to grow steadily and be able to come out with a budget that works with the team and be able to serve the current needs. And so the number one need really is financial support, as any nonprofit that you'll come across. With dealing with food, the number two would be food. It would be knowing anyone or any business that has a surplus or excess and wants to donate food for those who are hungry.
Mele, I understand that Aloha Harvest is based on City Harvest. It is the template that the food recovery system just changed the landscape of how food is further distributed around the world. How do restaurants qualify to participate or donate their foods to Aloha Harvest and your partners?
Restaurants qualify automatically. It just takes someone in the company to say yes and to believe in the mission. It's just an additional 15 to 30 minutes that they'll require their staff at the end of the day just to pack it up, store it properly for us to come the next day. So as long as food is prepared in a certified kitchen, which is why restaurants would qualify automatically, they can donate to Aloha Harvest. It's just a matter of someone saying, hey, can we donate? Can you come? And just giving us a call or email. We'll be there.
What are the benefits of restaurants and other food providers working with Aloha Harvest?
Donations are tax deductible, so we can provide a receipt to anyone who donates where they can file their taxes and get a write-off on. The other benefit really is being part of a community, knowing that you're doing something good. Whether you might not see it in action, know that you might be able to feed an extra 5 to 20 people with the food that you donate.
What are some general misconceptions about what Aloha Harvest does in the community and with the food redistribution system?
That's a great question. We just have an office out in Kaimuki. We do not have a warehouse. So all the food that is picked up today gets delivered the very same day. You can see us as the middleman between the food businesses and our partnering agencies. So we have refrigerated vehicles that cover the entire island of Oahu, picking up daily and delivering it the same day. So we rely on our partnered agencies to do the distributions to ensure that the food that they're receiving is still good quality to give it out to their clients. People have showed up to our office thinking we give food out, but we don't. We have done some things to be prepared in case someone does walk through our doors. But for the most part, it's just our office where our team is able to meet, but we're really out in the road, out on the streets, picking up and delivering to our communities.
How do you find those partnerships in the community?
Our recipient agencies, they need to be also a 501c3, and they need to have a program in place. It's either housing where kupuna or low income people are, and they have a system in place. Our partners vary, actually. We have children programs like Boys and Girls Club, YMCA, where they're able to distribute the food after school. So they can take things that are individually wrapped like musubis and bentos. Then we have IHS, who has a kitchen and can reheat hotel pans of food that's already been prepared. Churches who does a range of things like kitchens and distributions, and so they're able to handle the food the best way that they know their clients or their recipients will take. The program needs to fall under a 501c3. There is a bill, Emerson Good Samaritan Act, that allows us actually to do this work. So it covers us as the person picking up, it covers the food owner, as long as they're giving it in good faith that this is food that's still good for human consumption. And it covers our recipient agencies. They need to be a 501c3 actually to receive the food. Yeah.
Mele, for Aloha Harvest, rescuing quality food to nourish and strengthen our community, that's the motto. And it's been timely in every news cycle. What do you want the public to know about Aloha Harvest?
I want the public to know that Aloha Harvest is here in Oahu, and we provide this service where we're rescuing food, and that there is so much more food out there that has yet to be rescued. So if you know anyone that runs a restaurant or work in the food industry and are throwing good food into the trash, there is another way to do it. We provide the service free of charge, and you'll be helping the community. Why waste perfectly good food when there's so much people hungry? It's just something that makes sense, and that's why I love this mission, and that's why I've been here for so long, because it's like, why are you going to throw this away if you can feed 20 more people with it? And so I just want the people to know that there is this service, and whether if it's in the food industry or if it's a program that you run that could use food donation, let us know. We're just a small team, and we have big hearts, and we just want to help people out.
Aloha Harvest was founded in 1999 by Hau'oli Mauloa. They based their working model on City Harvest, a New York City-based organization. How does Aloha Harvest differ from other food recovery systems?
Aloha Harvest differs from other food recovery systems. From what I've seen is they kind of have a pantry or a warehouse. And so the one thing that does stand out is our model is where we don't have a warehouse. We're able to move the food the same day. We're able to keep our costs down. When Aloha Harvest started after, mirroring City Harvest's operations, right now City Harvest is almost like a food bank and a food rescue. And so their operation is huge out in New York City. Whereas ours, we're still keeping true to the way Aloha Harvest was created. And I think that's what makes us work and what makes us unique. Of course, there's other food recovery programs across the nation that we're very similar to, but the main thing is that we're recovering food, giving it a second home, a second chance.
How can everyday citizen neighbors help Aloha Harvest?
3 main ways, actually. The first is donating time. I think that's the best way to actually know what we're doing. You can actually do a food rescue yourself on a very small scale. You can pick up the food and you can deliver it to, and we'll coordinate everything for you to do that. There's other volunteer opportunities. You can get your hands dirty. We do community harvest. We go out to people's homes or farms that have an abundance of produce but don't have enough labor to harvest it. And so we take volunteers out, we harvest it, we're able to donate freshly picked produce, locally grown. Other ways people can help Aloha Harvest is, of course, donate money. Whether it's $5, $50, or $500, it will go a long way to helping those in need. As I mentioned earlier, you may not see the fruits of your actions. But I think if you have faith and you believe that there is good people out there that will utilize your contribution at Aloha Harvest, that's what we do. We make sure that in everything that we do, because we're so small and of course funds is limited, that we're moving in the right direction and making sure that money is well spent, because the cost of living in Hawaii is high. And for anyone to be able to donate extra, it really means a lot to us.
We're talking about zero waste or no waste when it comes to food. And there is a food recovery system here on Oahu, Aloha Harvest. It is the largest food recovery system. And if you need information, you can go to alohaharvest.org. Our guest is Mele Pepa Latu, Executive Director at Aloha Harvest. Mele, can you tell us about Aloha Harvest? Fundraising happens throughout the year, of course, to donate alohaharvest.org. As we're getting into the holiday season, we're talking Story November 2025. Can you tell us about Cook and Kokua Sushi and Poke Edition?
Yes, it's a very fun, hands-on experience. This is our second session, and 2 out of 4 that we are currently planning. We're just teaming up with local chefs, teaching us recipes using locally grown food. And so the first one, we actually did chocolate grown out in Wahiawa. And so the one coming up in December, we're doing sushi and poke. And so we're teaming up with Fresh Island Fish to teach. I mean, some of us already know how to do it, right? But it's always such a good skill to know how to make sushi, poke bowl, and they'll actually be seeing a whole ahi deconstructed. It's happening December 6th. Space is very limited. It's just a fun way to, with your friends, in time for the holidays, learn a new recipe or two.
And that's a great way to understand how the zero waste approach when it comes to fish.
Yeah.
Always welcome. Always welcome. Can you also talk about harvesting aloha for the holidays? What is that campaign?
Because we do this work the whole year.
Yes.
Usually during the holidays, it's like second nature. It's like, yeah, we're feeding people, but people wanted to volunteer more during the holidays. They wanted to give more. And so we wanted to be intentional with everyone's additional efforts during this season. And we came up with Harvesting Aloha for the Holidays. This is the time people do food drives and are more giving. We're taking all food donations, monetary donations towards this campaign and creating holiday boxes. So we're doing one in time for Thanksgiving this month, one in time for Christmas next month. It's another volunteer opportunity if you want to come out to a warehouse setting and just pack bags, sort, and all of that stuff. We have that opportunity available.
What are the food pantry staples that are year round?
The usual starch, rice, canned goods. What we like to tell people is if you're doing it as a group, do a concentrated effort on like a recipe. You can collect something that people, and we can turn it into a bag where when someone gets it, they don't have much more to buy. And it makes sense rather than just throwing random things. But of course, at the boxing, that's what we're doing, is trying to make a whole meal so that when people receive the bag, it's like, I can just make a meal that night, you know? So when people do food drives, we're like, hey, think of a recipe or two that you want to focus on and list all those ingredients for people to donate. And of course, there's things where it's harder if it's perishable, like meat or eggs. And we don't say no to that either. Like if we're going to donate perishable items, we just ask that you bring it closer to the boxing dates so that we can get it out in a timely manner.
So the Harvesting Aloha for the Holidays, it's setting up for Thanksgiving season and also for Christmas and other holidays through December. That approach is also when anyone is making a donation to any of the food pantry.
In a perfect world, Aloha Harvest will not exist. But the truth is there's always going to be extra food, whether there is still people hungry. I don't know how that will look in the future. I mean, that is our vision, is that we live in Hawaii where we're sustainable and that there is no hunger. The need continues to grow. So obviously it makes sense to continue to grow, but we would like to see that happen in a steady pace where we can make sure that we're financially stable. The biggest dream that we have is expanding to the neighbor islands and doing some kind of work with them, because a lot of people think we were on Maui or or Kauai. And so we want to make sure that those communities are able to do something similar to what we do here on Oahu. Maybe the next 5 years, we'll see. Yeah.
What have you learned working with the different restaurants and kitchens, the volunteers with Aloha Harvest?
I've learned that Hawaii is very small. Like everyone knows someone, everyone, and so that you just have to treat people with kindness always, regardless if you're the top of the organization or someone taking the trash out. When we know that, and especially because we're in Hawaii, everyone wants to give some way somehow, and that sometimes we're not all the same either. And I tell people when they're interested in working with us, it's like, you need to be able to deal with all kinds of personalities and everyone comes from different backgrounds. And if you have the heart to give, then you need to be able to deal with all kinds. So I give credit to our recipient agencies. There are times when I've been at feedings and you see things that, to be honest, that it's not all that great. It's rough. It's rough out there. But having compassion, really, having compassion for those people who are just having it rougher than others. And all the partnerships because we are like the middleman, and when our partnerships with our agencies and our food donors, it's so crucial just to treat others with kindness always, regardless. Yeah.
That is good practice everywhere, at every level of work, school, play, family. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mele Pepa Latu of Aloha Harvest. Visit alohaharvest.org for volunteer opportunities, ways to donate. To replay or share this episode, please visit Hawaii Matters where you stream podcasts. For Pacific Media Group, I'm Kathy with a K. Mahalo.